Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar on 6 steps guide to select the best phone system for your business. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule to join us for this webinar. So we get to hear a lot from IT managers, that they need to do a lot of comparison between different solutions, features wise comparisons, price wise comparison, before they finalize which solution makes sense to them. They need to do a lot of literature reading, and a lot of time goes into it. And sometimes they feel, when we talk to them, that the time which is spent on reading material from different sources is time wasted, because if they were to have a simple handbook or a guidebook that can take them through the process they need to follow before setting up a business phone system, that would make their life a lot easier, and that's what we are trying to cover in here. We are presenting you a simple process that you need to follow when you are either overhauling an existing telephony solution or putting up a new solution in place. So today I am joined by the product specialist for our unified collaboration suite, Deepak Goel. Deepak comes with tons and tons of experience of designing telephony solutions for all length and breadth of solutions, of requirements. He has designed IP-based telephony network for large enterprises in healthcare, hospitality, education domain, and for all size of companies. And he has designed, contact center solutions. So in a nutshell, he's a master. So he'll be joining me, for taking us through this guidebook.
Thanks for the introduction, Varun. As Varun said, I am a product specialist for UCS. UCS is itself a vast term, but people used to call it as a telephony system. Communication is the biggest source of sharing ideas. Most of the time, business deals are dependent on how you seamlessly, clearly communicate with your client. If you are a middle of finalizing a deal, suddenly due to a traditional or bad communication setup, there is a jitter in between your communication, or due to the bad wiring, connection goes down. You have no idea what client said. All goes boom. Except saying, oh shit, there is nothing to say. So you need to have a best communication system, upgrade it to the latest technology to showcase your company, get revenue for your company. Also, client also look for who they are partnering with, what kind of technology they are using. So Varun is going to cover the things which you need to consider while choose the perfect system as per the market demand. Also, he will give you the brief background of TaraSpan. Over to you, Varun.
Thanks, Deepak. You're right. We need to consider a lot of things. So, before I comment on the journey of taking you through this presentation, let me briefly take you through what TaraSpan is and what we do. So, TaraSpan is a technology company headquartered in Canada and offices in India. We are a partner to enterprises here in India, wherein we increase the productivity of enterprises here with our technology solutions, which are in the space of unified collaboration, e-learning, customer experience management, and RF infrastructure space. And back there to Canadian client, we provide the strategy to grow their business in India, and also give them an access to the huge talent pool here in India. All right, so here is the holy grail to the perfect business phone system. These are the steps that you need to follow, and once that is done, you can easily rest assured that you will have the best solution system implemented in your premise. First thing first, you need to take care of your requirements. You need to identify your requirements, put them down on a piece of paper, and analyze them. Once that is done, you need to compare different possibilities of infrastructure. You need to evaluate the right deployment model, whether it should be a cloud-based solution or an on-premise solution or a hybrid. And most importantly, you need to really identify the features that map to your requirement. And once that is done, you need to talk to us. You need to find the perfect vendor. And implement the system wisely. So let me cover the first thing, the business needs. First thing first, you need to assess the existing system. Why you want to do an overhaul? What is it that you are not happy with your existing system? Is it the poor voice quality? Is it the outages? Is it very high maintenance, or no interoperability with new technologies? What is it that you are not happy with that is motivating you to change the system? Once that is identified, talk to different stakeholders in your organization, talk to different departments, staff, what is their experience with the existing system, what is it that they need to be changed so that their experience improves. And most importantly, talk to your front end teams which are interacting with your customers to understand what is it that you change in the phone system that improves the experience of your customers. What is it that can help you deliver the high level of experience. Jot down all pluses and minuses on a piece of paper and create a list of things you would be expecting from a new system. And during this process, estimate the size of the system, and that would be directly proportional to the number of employees and the number of office locations you have. But take one thing into account. Two projections. The system you put in place right now is going to stay for at least few years. Do estimation of staff, what number of employees you expect to be joining you in the next 3 years or 5 years, how the usage pattern would be in coming years with the increase in number of users, probably with the increase in the number of locations. Map the usage pattern and staffing projections with the locations. See what percentage of the entire workforce would be mobile. With that, you would have an understanding of how your system should look like to take care of your future growth. And your system should grow as you grow. And this should be done very wisely. But while doing this, you need to understand the new things which are happening in technology, the new technology which are there at the surface. You need to understand how the new things in technology space can impact your implementation. So I am insinuating here towards VoIP. If VoIP is a paradigm shift which has happened in telephony space in the last few years, and bring in a lot of optimization to organizations' resources. Suppose you want to make a long distance call, then VoIP is the best option. If your call volume is high, VoIP is the best option. And if you're looking for mobility or presence or other unified communication features, then again VoIP makes sense. Similarly for audio and video conferencing, and Gartner has also stated in its numerous reports that every IT manager should consider VoIP as an option. But while you are considering VoIP based solution as an option, you need to assess it thoroughly. You need to analyze how this will impact your existing infrastructure and what it is that you would need to change or bring in to have a successful VoIP implementation.
This is really important and relevant thing need to consider while choosing a new system. For example, if you are already paying for data plan in your company, then why pay extra for the voice calls? You need to travel to different stations just for giving a presentations. Then why not online through HD quality video conferencing?
Exactly, and that makes sense. Similarly, mobility is also very important, because these days the workforce desire mobility. You can't afford to ignore it. You have people, your sales team roaming around, hardly sitting in the office, and you have multiple offices also. Teams are also segregated, which like to collaborate regularly, share information regularly. You need to assess the requirement of mobility when you are putting up a new business phone system in place, because that is an important feature. Otherwise you would be spending a lot of money on other areas to take care of mobility. Feature like hot desking, teleworker, and mobile client are very much required for real-time collaboration, right? So once the basic assessment is done, comes the time to compare different infrastructure options. I've already talked about VoIP, which as per me is the obvious choice vis-a-vis a traditional infrastructure or traditional telephone system, because VoIP brings in low total cost of ownership, and system is very flexible, grows as you grow. Since you can use the existing infra and the workforce, it is very cost effective, and maintenance is also very efficient and effective, because you don't have to pull in cable or change cable. You just have to monitor everything through an admin control panel, and it ensures mobility. Traditional telephone system is good when you have to do a lot of local calls, when you do not have globally spread teams, when you do not require mobility. But even in those scenarios, it has limitations. It is not as flexible as you want. If you were to take care of new staff which is coming in the organization, then again the cost is very high to take care of that. The features are very basic, and the initial cost of setting up is very high. So as per my understanding, VoIP is the best thing which makes sense here.
I very much agree with your point. Some of the companies are still using traditional infrastructure where they are paying for one resource who can go in comms room and do the punching of the cabling all the day. This needs to be changed. Obviously, paying extra just for this really can be avoided.
Absolutely. Why to pay for something which can be really avoided? And similarly is the case with the deployment model. The traditional way of setting up a system is putting everything in premise, spending a lot of money initially to buy different equipments, infrastructure, and just to have control over your data. And maintenance also increases in on-premise solution. Expansion is also a cumbersome task, because a lot of analysis has to be done. If you were to increase, say, your current system by 10% or 20%, how it would impact the entire organization, space and everything, and cabling everything. So I am vouching here for the cloud solution, which ensures, and it is globally proven, that the upfront investment is low, and you pay for the usage. You don't have to worry about support. It's already been taken care of by your vendor. Expansion is very easy. You can understand. It's the headache of your vendor. Features can easily be accommodated. And though people are worried about the security and privacy concern, which I do not see, with cloud-based solution, but if there's still a concern about security, then you can go for hybrid solution, wherein you can use your existing infrastructure and you can have control on what is happening with your system. But again, it comes with a high investment as compared to cloud solution. But in a nutshell, these are three options which you can explore. And if you're looking for a long-term solution, then cloud makes sense. But again, if privacy and security is a big concern for you, then you can vouch for hybrid solution. Now, when you have identified your requirements and you have selected the infrastructure and you have identified the deployment model you want to go with, there comes an important point wherein you have to list down all the features which will be important to you. You would see a lot of features on different vendors' website, and it will be difficult for you to really see which is more important for you. As a first step, You should be jotting down all features and place them into buckets, must have and nice to have. And on basis of that, you need to see which is the one that clearly impact your system, and those features should be taken care of. Here we are covering some of the most important features which we see that should be taken into consideration while evaluating different features, and when you are mapping those features with your requirements. So I would like Deepak you to run us through these features, because these are very important, and I'm sure since you have done a lot of implementation, you know where each one of them makes sense.
Yep. As Varun said that there are lots of features, as you all are aware of that as well. I'll give you the example that everybody is using the multimedia phones, but I think I assuming that maximum of the population who is using the multimedia phones, they are actually using 10 or 20% of all the features which they have in the multimedia phones. In the same scenario in the telephony system as well, there are lots of features are there. We have figured out that some of that important features which may relevant to your business. The very first is that hot desking. Everybody wants to grow. So when a company plan to ramp up a team, the biggest challenge is the providing the infrastructure. So with hot desking, multiple employees can use the common seat with their own individual extension number by logging into the phone with their secure credentials. So once you log in the phone, all features and functionalities configured for you will pop up automatically. If you want, you can do login logout through mobile as well. You can use personal mobile as office extension and use all features of the extension seamlessly through mobile. The second one is that one number calling. It's not the same with service provider providing. So in the one number calling, that mobile is personal. Why should I share my mobile for the official purpose? So this feature really works for me. Now using this feature, you won't need to share your personal number with anyone. The only number which is your office extension need to be shared with your client. Whenever there is any call on office extension, you will receive call parallelly on your mobile as well. And you have a liberty to pick call from anywhere. You can switch the device during the call as well without telling any beep or any kind of sound to that external caller. The next is that audio video conferencing. Just for a small presentation, why to travel overseas? Definitely it will incur lots of expense. Better to have a video conferencing in place. Just send a link to a client and join. Share ideas seamlessly with the client. Using multiple features like sharing presentation, desktop sharing, highlighting particular area using whiteboard tool, you can give very good impression to the client and win the deal. Mobility. Mobility is really a good feature and currently in demand. Why to give seat extension number to the sales team who never enter the office or rarely come once in a month? Better to have a fully loaded softphone on his mobile. One can use existing data plan for calling. Even if he doesn't have that smartphone, still he can use the mobility feature and communicate with the client showing in-office extension only. Unified messaging, there are lots of features that fall under this umbrella. That if you are not responding on a call, yes, we do admit all calls are important. So once there is a call, you are not responding, it will go to your dedicated voicemail. You can send soft faxes on email as well. Very good feature is the presence. You can see a real-time presence of the employees. You can see the status of the employee you wish to talk to. Also, status can be changed automatically according to the calendar's meeting, because it can integrate with your email clients like Outlook or the other clients. The other feature is that automatic call distribution. This is really a great feature and a backbone of contact center. This functionality allows call centers to process incoming calls based on the number of the customer definable parameters. Voicemail to email, as a name suggests, but if you are not in an office for a few days, lots of voicemails in your mailbox. For a good salesman or employee for a company, you should respond to all queries. So this feature allows you to send voicemail message to email configured as an attachment, and the one can respond in the timely manner. So these are the few key features I highlighted. Other than that, there are a huge list of features which can make your life and work easier. Over to you,
Right.
Varun.
You're absolutely right. There are lot of features, myriad of features, but these are the features which are very important. Some of them would be really important for your business. Some of them might not be, but these are the features which you need to evaluate thoroughly, and evaluate how it can impact your entire solution, entire system. Now, if you have done things correctly until now, you are in a position to talk to vendors. You're in a position to talk to us, I would say, rather say. Make sure you're talking to a lot of people. The more you interact with vendors, more information you gather, wiser you become. And let me tell you the truth, it's a long-term relationship. So don't mind having multiple interaction. Don't mind throwing numerous questions to your vendor. Don't think that you are asking a silly question, because every question which you are asking is important for the success of your implementation. But do not choose any vendor just on the basis of the cost of hardware or a software. I would say the cost of tangibles. You need to take total cost of ownership into account, which doesn't only include the implementation or hardware software pieces. It includes the post-sales capabilities also, training capabilities also. That's very important. Implementation is like a small piece of the puzzle. The real game begins when the implementation is done, when people start using the system, when they start facing issues. That's where your vendor, your partner becomes important. His role becomes important. How easily he is available for you, how efficient and knowledgeable his post-sales team is, how well he can understand your network complexity, and how well he can train your users. It becomes very important. And let me tell you one more. Let me give you one more advice. A right partner will always try to optimize your resources. Would always try to reduce your cost burden. He would always try to give you suggestion how you can best use your existing infrastructure, how you can save cost on different devices, because not every user require a same handset. The requirements vary with different roles in the organization. What should be the optimum number of devices that need to be put in place? A true partner will always guide you through all these points. So please, when you are meeting vendors, discuss all of these points thoroughly with them.
I'm very much agree with that Varun's point, because you have seen some kind of vendor that they just come, install the system and goes off. So what exactly that benefit of buying such features if the exact users are not using those features? So while choosing the correct vendor, you need to be very careful that will they provide the training on the features you are buying? Your user are going to use that features? So basically, you need to be very much concentrate on that what vendor is providing to you. Sometimes you have seen that the vendors to provide a complete solution, they have different products. So vendor usually provide us some of the part of that solution, and at the time of installation they just trying to passing the ball to the other round. So you need to be very careful while choosing the vendor who is providing the complete solution.
Exactly. So when the vendor is finalized, it's time to implement, and the implementation has to be done wisely. And a lot of time should be spent, in planning things out. Let me put this upfront. A wisely planned implementation saves a lot of resources. You need to take different facets into consideration. Which team will be overviewing the entire implementation? What will be the role of each guy? Plan everything, roles and responsibility wisely. Design the network in coordination with your implementation partner. Review it again and again. Maybe set up a small test network, test everything, identify KPIs, measure the successful of the test network on those KPIs. Very important. And if when you are satisfied with the result of the test, then you should go for the final implementation. And when after the final implementation, make sure your team, who will be administering the entire system, and users, all of them are thoroughly trained. Prepare a training schedule and work accordingly. Ensure all deadlines are met from your side, from your partner side, and most importantly, there has to be one single point of contact from your side to deal with your partner. And when this is done correctly, you save both money and time. And need I say, we have the capability to do so for you. So that's the final piece of the puzzle. If you follow each step religiously, I am 100% sure you will have a successful implementation. You will not miss anything. What you need to do is thoroughly, understand the implication of each point. Thoroughly understand what if you miss something at each point of time can impact the system later on. Religiously work on each and every point with your team. And to help you out, we have summarized the 6 points into a kind of a checklist, which you can just take a print out and start working with. For each point we have written down points which you need to evaluate, the features which you need to have, whether a particular vendor has met all criteria or haven't met some of them. So if you use this checklist, I'm sure half of your problem is already resolved, because after working on this checklist you will at least have a certain level of clarity on what you are going to put in place. And it's a tool even your team, the new guys in your team can easily use, and can wisely gather information for you. All right, so this has been the guidebook, which we believe can significantly impact your process. So let me shamelessly pitch in ourselves here. We have deep expertise. When I say deep, we have more than 150 clients in unified collaboration space here in India. We have clients in almost all major verticals of all size, for whom we have done unified communication solutions implementations. We have done visual collaboration implementations. Some of the contact center implementations also we have done. So in nutshell, we have deep expertise, and we don't have just expertise in providing the solutions. We have expertise in designing the solutions, understanding the network complexities, and we have deep post-sales and pre-sales support implementation. Now, with this, I come to an end to our presentation, and I would like to open the forum for questions. I'm seeing a lot of questions being thrown at us. Wow. So let's do one thing, Deepak. Let's take some of the questions. I'm seeing a lot of questions there. Let's take them one by one. So let me just take the first question. Okay. The question is, we do have an IP phone in office. Can we still use the same with the new technology?
Yes, you can. If you're using a SIP-based phones, SIP is basically open protocol, which is supported by most of the IP-based telephony system. But still, we do recommend to share details with us, and our backend team will assist you further.
All right. Yeah, that's a wise thing to do. I'm taking the next question, which says, what is hot desking? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier as well, the hot desking is basically sharing seat or phone with multiple users. We provide you the credentials like your net banking or ATM credentials. So one can log in with their secured credentials to any phone within the network. Further use phone with all features and facilities configured for him.
Okay, interesting. Um, the next question is, they have VM infrastructure in their office. So what is the solution that would fit in there?
Our all solutions work on VMware and Hyper-V. So we have a different solutions. We can provide you the proprietary controllers. We do support the ISS, means that any industry standard servers. And yes, definitely we support the VM instances as well.
All right. I'm taking the next question now. Okay. How to identify that, how much of the existing infra can be reused going forward with the
This
new technology?
It's a very relevant and a great question. Firstly, you need to identify what technology you are currently have, what kind of features you are looking for. To make it simple, connect with one of our sales team, then they can assist you further in efficient manner. Don't hesitate for asking any feature if you think possible or not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
you can see our mail ID on that screen as well. So you can connect to our sales team.
All right. Great. I'm taking the next question. So it says we are planning to go for an IP technology based solution, but still we need some analog phones for lower staff. I mean, do we really need to separate solutions?
No, no. We do provide the hybrid technology system. So one single box can support analog, digital as well as the IP and also act as a media gateway itself. So one single box can cater everything.
All right. I mean, interesting. The next question is about multiple locations. So the question is they have multiple offices and but they do not have the connectivity in between those offices. So what should be the solution for that?
We do support the SBC, which is your session border controller.
What is
So
it?
it's a kind of a gateway in between your LAN network or your WAN network. So basically it's a kind of server which authenticate the external calls to come into the system. So even if you don't have the VPN or MPLS between the sites, still you can communicate securely over the internet. It's a kind of a firewall, so you no need to worry about any kind of like broadcasting of that packets and any kind of virus attack or kind of things.
Okay. Well, that's something new for me too. Okay, there are some more questions. Let me take the most important one. What kind of support does TaraSpan provide?
We do
Interesting.
provide a 24/7 dedicated team, and we do have a ticketing system. We also provide a spoke for each and every ticket. So you no need to worry about the support. You just need to send an email. Anytime you will send an email within 5 or 10 seconds, you will get a ticket number and immediately one of our agent will, it's a basically technical agent who will give you a call and sort out that your query.
Yeah, I would also like to share a couple of insights here. We have a very structured support process. We follow ticketing system wherein the tickets are categorized on the basis of priority and complexities, and we give very clear visibility into who are handling tickets, and I would comment to an extent that you can reach out to higher management if the things are not getting done in time. So we provide that much flexibility, and even that, even if things do not happen correctly, then the clients also have an access to guys like Deepak, who are specialists in not only solution designing, in troubleshooting very complex issues, right?
Yep.
And that's very important. So great. I mean, let's wrap it up here. So guys, thanks a lot for joining us. If you have any query, please reach out to us. We have already shared our email IDs, or you can contact our sales team if you want to have some on-premise discussions, or you want us to make specific presentations about our UC capabilities. We will be happy to help you. But if you are on social media, please follow us. We are sharing our LinkedIn company page and Twitter profile. Please stay in touch with us. We'll be sharing the recording of this webinar and the slides shortly through emails if you have done the registration, and we'll be sharing that on social media too. So if you stay in touch with us on social media, you will get to see everything which we are doing in UC space, and probably we'll be sharing some more information with you. So thanks again. Thanks for the time. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.